I am from home, going back to work. I've reached a town called as Katito. Katito is an upcoming town between Sondu and Ahero, and it's about 35 kilometers to Kisumu. It's not far away from Kano. If you guys have heard of Kano Plains, a place where people have had problems with floods. Every time and again you hear whenever it rains, people crying and saying Serikali's idea. So Kano Plains is a place that people are crying throughout the year. When it is dry, there's no water, so people are crying, and when it rains, there's too much water that it floods, and people continue wailing. Kano has some story, and this relates to the migration of the Kisses. History has it that Bantus immigrated from Central Africa into different parts of this great continent of Africa. Some went down to south, some came to East Africa, and others went to West Africa and the north of the continent. So the Kisses moved together with the Kikuyus and Meru through Tanzania, and then they entered into Kenya to their current settlements. But there was another group which came through Uganda, and around Kasese, there are some who were left behind there. They intermarried with the Ugandans, and I think there could be the Batoros we hear about. A small group came into Kenya through Mount Elgon. First they settled in Mount Elgon, and then they moved to the lakeside. After that, because of the mosquitoes, they could not tolerate the environment. They moved to Kano. Now this is the famous Kano. You can see how flat it is, and that's why when it rains there are problems. Now this place, the Kisses stayed here briefly. They introduced bananas. As you know, they are a banana eating community. They love bananas. So whenever they moved, they used to move with suckers for the perpetuation of the species of the bananas. So the bananas that you might see around here were introduced in this place by the Kisses. So because of the frequent flooding, the Kisses did not like the place, and agriculturally it was not so productive. Kisses like farming, so they had to move again to another place, and they moved to near Kericho in a place called Kabianga. There they stayed for a while. Actually over there I can see a banana, probably the one which was introduced by the Kisses. So they lived near Kericho for a while, but there were frequent raids. Cattle rustlers were disturbing them from among the Kipsigis and the Luos. So it also became difficult for them to continue staying in Kabianga. So one time, after their cattle had been stolen, and it became so cold in that they were not able to stay there, they said in Kisi, Kabianga, meaning now that it's not possible for them to continue living there, they decided to move, and they moved south to their current settlement. So these bananas might have been introduced here by the Kisses. So this area is also famous for rice farming. You can see the paddle fields where people are growing the rice. Over here someone is weeding rice there, and this is the kind of rice that is eaten in dry areas. You see, actually we are interdependent. People who live in the dry areas of Kenya, like in North northern Kenya, they love eating rice. And this rice is grown in marshy or waterlogged areas like these ones. You can see the paddy fields so big. Some people are also guarding birds. You know, there are birds which come eating rice, which is still in the farm. So these are views from Kano, a flat place. You know, even building houses here, it's really difficult. You know, starting a foundation, you have to dig really deep, and you have to put beams in the ground so that you prevent the house from sinking. So it takes a lot of money to put up a house here. And even after you have completed the construction, you need to continue fighting the mosquitoes because of the rains. And when it will not be raining, you'll be making long trips to the dams to fetch water for your domestic use. Yeah, so it's an interesting part of Kenya.